What is everybody drinking tonight?
Truly.
Water.
Well, y'all seen me today, and I just stopped drinking an hour ago. probably, I probably had like seven scotches today, and yeah,
Okay, you
eh,
should be ready for the show then.
I thought you didn't
yeah,
drink, Dad.
huh?
I thought you didn't drink.
I don't, not much. I drink if I'll drink more in the house than I ever do outside.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I don't drink alone at all at home. I'll drink
yeah.
out.
If I'm out, I'm probably gonna have two drinks at the most. But like if I'm in the house and I could drink and I know I'm here. Yeah,
That's
and
very
most
responsible of you, sir. I
nah,
salute that.
yeah, and it's being having a name and all of that type of stuff. It's just so much that can go wrong. So I just try to protect myself at all costs.
Protect the brand, baby. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
with you.
definitely,
I was
definitely.
telling I was telling my daughter I had to reinforce to her tonight that you see Dad drinking. Dad don't drink like this when I'm out. I only do this in the house.
How about
Only on Facebook Live.
No, Sean, we got to kick you back out.
I'm doing it again?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
That was a live FM. Cheers.
All right.
Is that echoing? Okay, Sean's gonna try it again. So let's get started. So first, a toast. Gentlemen,
So,
hold your glass. It's a tradition in the cave. The toast to having a good show. To everybody, to your health.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
I'm actually not drinking that right now, so I toast with the water that I'm
All
drinking to
That's
rehydrate.
good.
gallon a day, baby.
That's bad luck,
Yeah,
man.
whatever you need, everything's allowed here. All right. So first of all, I want to say welcome to our two new members of the cave for tonight's show. So we're gonna let you tell a little bit about yourself. We're gonna start with you, Mr. Ladd.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Ashman Ladd. On Monday, I'll be celebrating 15 years as a Chicagoan. So I've been here 15 years, moved here in 05. I worked with Glenn Murray years and years and years ago. That's how we know each other. I actually, mentored Glenn. I developed Glenn, and made him the man who he is today. Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
damn. I thought we were gonna at least wait till like the 10th minute before the live.
No, man, 3 minutes.
I
I've
see.
been a career changer all my life. I started in healthcare, went to financial services, went to government. Now I'm an entrepreneur working in hospitality on basically a floating island, Lake Michigan.
Nice. You'll have to tell us more about that later as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, Mr. Clark, introduce yourself to those who might not know you.
Yeah, if you most people know me because of this picture right here in the background playing football with the Chicago Bears. And then I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and following Ashman Ladd's footsteps because when I look at him, I see everything that I want to be as a person. So now I am an entrepreneur also in the insurance industry, but more so, man, if I could ever grow up to be like Ashman, I'm already taller than Ashman.
You're already, yeah, you kind of grew up past him at like 12,
minutes, man.
probably, so that didn't count.
But if I could be half the man that Mr. Ladd is, I'll be a great man.
All right, well, welcome. Mr. Roberson, do you have a greeting for the audience?
What up, people? We back in the cave.
Yes, we are back in the cave. So welcome to everybody tuning in right now on Facebook Live. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to get this started. We're hoping Sean Mason will be joining us soon. He's having some technical difficulties, so we're gonna bring him in. We're sure he can jump in as soon as he gets on. So I want to start with sports, guys. Let's just start with something that is good to talk about right now. So
we need to retire number 88 from the Bears. We need to retire that number. That's what I'm thinking, man. Put it in the rafters.
So you know what? They retired number 89, 2 years ago, and that was the last number that they could retire. So
That was Ditka, right?
So it's not gonna happen.
Man, bro, I was pulling for you, D.
All they had to do is subtract 1 from 89, and then you got 88. But man, it's not gonna happen.
Hey,
all
true
good, bro.
story. True football. Yeah, true football story. Ashvin and I were at a game in Green Bay where you caught a touchdown pass.
Oh, hey, Glenn. So funny thing, real quick. So Des and I were at a Cubs game a couple years ago, and I was telling him that story, and he knew exactly the play that I was talking about.
Yeah, 2007.
Yeah,
Corner route.
He ran the play verbatim. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it was so cool.
Yeah, I beat number 36 Collins to the corner of the end zone, and he tackled me in the end zone. He didn't want me to celebrate.
Of course, you were in Green Bay. He didn't want you celebrating at his house. Of course,
Right.
The Bears down at halftime. Bears down at halftime, big time, and then they came back. Fourth quarter touchdown by Des Clark. It was like 07. It was like 80 degrees. Sunday Night Football.
Yep.
Brian Greasy threw me that pass.
Yeah.
Sure did. We were
To have
there.
80 degrees in Green Bay is a miracle in and of itself. That part
There you
right
go.
there.
Yeah, it was,
That part.
it was nice. Another story, it was hilarious because the Bears were down at halftime. This guy's sitting behind us. It's like 5 of us from Chicago, obvious Bears fans, or obviously not from Green Bay. He gets up and goes, "Hey, beer man, I want to buy all 5 of these Bears fans a beer because they haven't had anything to cheer about all day long." We were like, dude, you would never survive in Chicago because the only beer you get in Chicago is dumped on your head.
Right.
You would never get anything bought for you for leaving. Anyway, how do we feel about everything opening up? NASCAR is open. Looks like basketball will be playing at Disney. Football, college football is like, we're going. Southeast Conference is like, we're going. Report, it's time to go. How do you guys feel about that? With everything that's going on in the world with coronavirus, everything else, how do you feel about that?
I'm good with it. As long as they can take precautions to help fans upon entry, during the game, and upon exit, I'm good with it. Have at it.
And if they're going to do it without fans, I mean, even better. I mean, if you can get out there and compete, and it's just amongst the team, especially in basketball, because you only got a limited number of people, and you can control that a little bit better than college football when you got 125 athletes, and we're not even talking about the coaches and support staff and all of those people. So especially basketball, they're going to do it all in one stadium in one area, and it's contained. I think, NBA, they are far, I think they're far more progressive than all the other sports. And just for them bringing everybody to Orlando, doing this starting July 1st, it seems like they're leading in this thing and leading all the other sports organizations into this coronavirus situation that we have.
Okay. Mel, what do you think?
As a player, how does that affect you? No fans.
Yeah, I ain't for it, bro. Like, I get it, but we don't have an example of anywhere in the world that's on the other side of this thing. And even if you're bringing small amounts of people, like, it's not the amount of people, it's who's infected. And there were NBA players that didn't even know that they were infected at the time. You know what I mean? That's like saying, well, only got 10 people together. That's like saying, well, I only had sex with 10 people. Well, if one of them got a disease, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got the disease, So it does it limit, or does it statistically, does it limit the amount of people that potentially risk exposure? Yeah, by the same token though, man, listen, y'all know how hard I go for Michigan State. I have no plans on being in East Lansing at all. I don't care what they do. I won't be there. My daughter's going to SMU next year to run track and field. I'll be at her stuff, right? But I'm going to be in a corner somewhere off to myself. Track and field events ain't packed like that anyway. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be in a full hazmat suit. So I'm just not for... somebody used to sneeze and we used to say, bless you. Now somebody sneeze, you're like, man, bro, what's up? Yeah, I ain't going, bro.
Man, hey, it's so bad now. I was running today, man, and after I got done running, like I'm walking like the last quarter mile home, and I had to sneeze, but it was a couple people that was getting ready to, like, we were at the intersection, and I held it just so I didn't sneeze and they look at me crazy because I didn't have on a mask because I'm running,
right?
And I didn't want them to look at me crazy, so I choked that sneeze down. And I did it just because I didn't want nobody looking at me like, man, you sneezing and you don't have on a mask? Like, seriously? Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I know there's UFC is going on now, like close contact. So I'm sure they're well tested and everything, but I think it's still gonna be a little shaky because everybody's kind of waiting on the shoe to drop. That first person to test positive. and then everybody will say, "I told you so." So I get the psyche. America kind of needs, quote unquote, some sort of distraction with sports. So I can see why people are eager to get back. Also, it's financially sound for the league to get back. I honestly think they should just award the NBA title to the Lakers and be done with it. But that's just my opinion. It's not the opinion of the station or anybody else.
I
We'll
got
leave it at
you,
that.
I got you back.
Yes, Lakers for life, baby. That's why Ashman's on the show. Mel, didn't you know that he's a Laker fan? I hate to tell you.
That's why I'm VIP for life.
Our
Yes,
producer,
exactly,
can
'cause
you
he got
hand
me
me
to a
over the
finals
controls to the cave so I can mute various people at any moment?
Too late.
Golly.
Too late for that. All right, so we're going to talk about something else very serious. We had a show the other night, last week, Making Love Better Together, another show that we produced with Indie Network. And they talked about coronavirus and relationships during coronavirus. And since relationships are so popular on this show, I don't know why, but it's the most popular segment on this show. Literally, we can look at stats and everything else we talk about, nobody cares about. But relationships, we see the numbers shoot up. So we're going to talk about relationships. And yeah, I know. Yeah, double, yeah. And they call them the Corona. Have you guys, you don't have to tell me any gory details, but how do you feel about relationships during coronavirus? You know, I don't want to know, like I said, I don't want to gory details unless you want to share them, you know, but what do you feel about that? Is it under duress?
Gory though.
But just
I don't know, just saying.
Just think about if you didn't have and me and my lady, we don't live together, but you know, two separate places, but we still have each other. I could just imagine if we didn't have each other and was just got caught in this time period where you didn't have that significant other that you could call, talk to, visit with, be with. Man, that'll make this whole situation a ton harder to deal with, because I mean, isolation, just think about, you know, how prisoners are in isolation and the damage and the effect that have on the psychology of someone like that. Just imagine if you didn't have that person that you could be in contact with. And I'm talking about physically, like sitting right next to you, even if it's not every single day, because she's not here every single day. Luckily, she's here tonight. But if I didn't have that, I think this would be far more difficult to go through. But at the same time, let's look at, I love her and I enjoy being around her. But then the opposite side of that, I seen a report from Lake County where before coronavirus, it used to be 14 calls a day for domestic violence. It's over 100 a day now. So it's a lot of people who don't like each other that's forced to be around each other right now. So that's the other side of this.
Right. Ashman?
You talking romantic relationships or just personal relationships?
Romance.
So
I'll try to get out of romance.
Right now, I'm not dating anybody, and I prefer to meet organically. I'm not a dating app guy. I'm not on Bumble at all or any of those apps. So it's been harder for me because the bar is closed and events closed. You can't really meet anybody. So for me, it's just really been a non-starter for me. But if I was on dating apps, I don't know if I would. I don't think I've been very cavalier with COVID. I mean, I've taken precautions, but I've also been like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to enjoy my life, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. But when it's somebody I don't know, and I don't know if they've been taking precautions, I'm a little bit more hesitant. If it's someone in my network that I know and I trust, I'm more prone to be around them. So I kind of shied away from that for the past probably 2-3 months.
Mel, you put on chapstick to answer this question. I'm really
I put on
doing your
Had to get
everything.
Had to get his sexy on real quick.
Nah. So what'd you say, bro?
Whatever floats your boat. Chapstick, you know,
Whatever.
it's cool.
Whatever.
Open and
Check the last 3 broadcasts. I always put on chapstick, bro.
Right before this
Don't like
question.
my lips like the Mojave Desert. It's
No, I
just
got you, buddy.
over here. There you go. See, you all right for a Lakers fan.
Do you put it on right before the relationship question every time though?
I did before the show. I'm doing it right now.
It's the timing. It's the timing of it.
Des.
There we go.
It was supposed to be me and you, bro.
It is, man. I'm sorry.
We the
man.
freedom fighters this episode, man.
I apologize. I got carried away. I apologize.
So
LL does that before he drops the line. So I get
you
it.
want
Mel.
my answer or
That's
not,
your
Glenn
thing.
Murray?
Go ahead. I'm
You want
sorry.
the damn answer or not?
Go ahead.
So I am of the mindset that well, two things here. Number one, you do have to take extreme caution first and foremost. Like, it don't make no sense to be in love if you're gonna die because of it, right? So to Ashvin's point, somebody has to be sheltering in place. They have to be, they have to care just as much about their life as I do, in order for me to even attempt or think about seeing somebody. I still take care of my parents, so I'm dropping off groceries and whatever I'm doing over there, and I don't want to risk being asymptomatic, even if somebody doesn't know they have it, they can still transmit it, and I just don't want to be that dude. So I'm personally extremely careful. The other thing that I think happens in some situations like this is there's something called trauma bonding when people are under extreme circumstances. And I think that as a nation, as a world even, we are collectively mourning right now. And in some situations, not every situation, if you were already dealing with somebody before this thing happened, then that's different. But in some situations, you could be experiencing trauma bonding because it's so tough. And then you build this bond because y'all were there for each other during a rough time. And then as soon as the rough time is over with and you go back to business as normal or business as usual, you're like, well, what did I get into? This was good because I was lonely and I was hurting and, I was at home watching all this death and destruction. And now all of a sudden you're not in that. I think that could be something that's real for people, and they just need to be aware of that. But at some point in time, you got to live your life too. So just take a calculated risk.
So there's some very lonely people in this world, and a lot of them find their way on Facebook for some reason. So I think I see a lot of that. I had somebody came on the show and they talked about having a breakup during this, and then I had a couple of people I've seen that have gone into serious relationships during coronavirus. I don't even know if they've seen them. I'm like, this is like dating somebody in prison or something, I feel like. Because if you can't be near them and all of a sudden you've developed this bond, and I think to your point, the science behind it may be part of it. What would be your advice if a woman came to you and it's like, I met this great guy, we've never actually met, we bonded, and I feel like there's a connection, because women feel connections all the time. Whether you feel them or not, they have a connection. What would be your advice to women that are going through this right now?
Was that for the ratings, or do you really believe that?
Hey, as part of this show, we need to do what it takes to get the ratings. So answer the question.
Hey, Glenn, so for a particular friend of mine, a female friend, she was in this. She felt a connection to a guy she met on an app. And they both decided to quarantine for 14 days before they met. And when they finally did meet, they met on a sidewalk. They kept 6 feet apart. They went and got takeout pizza slices, and they ate them on the way back. Kept keeping their distance. That was their first date. It was after 14 days of quarantine, 6 feet separation, got a slice of pizza. And then after that, it worked out pretty well. They both felt pretty healthy after that. And then, well, you can imagine the rest after that.
They
became Corona blues. All right. Nice.
That's a world that I do not live in. I don't know any of my friends that would go to those measures to meet somebody right now. It's either I ain't messing with nobody, or I don't think they're going to be that precautious to say, all right, you quarantine for 14 days. I'm going to quarantine for 14 days. And then we're going to meet and keep 6 feet of distance and go get a slice of pizza. Yeah. That's very responsible. But how do you actually know that person quarantined for 14 days? I hear that. And that's a perfect world scenario. But I'm thinking like, yeah, right. Like both of them quarantined for 14 days. But maybe so. That's just not the world that I live in, and anybody I know that lives in.
Did they quarantine for 14 days together or separately?
Separately.
You gotta ask, bro.
Yeah, right.
Well, and if it happened, kudos to them. And everything is going well now.
Yeah, well, as far as I know, yeah.
Hey, but to answer your question, Glenn, what advice would you give somebody? Like you don't know anybody that you met on freaking online. Like, come on, like we like let's be adults now. Let's be rational people.
Like
I
that
can
ever
put,
stopped anybody.
I can put on any front that I want to. Like y'all don't know what this. I mean, I got this whole little setup right here, and I could turn this thing around, and y'all be like, "Oh, damn! Like this dude living in a dump." But I set this little nice thing up right here to show, that is looking. Mel, you ain't read all those books back there.
I read 85% of the books, bro.
Okay, I like the fact that you didn't lie though. I
read 85% of the books. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
Yes,
drank
sir.
100% of that wine back there. Like I'm real with mine. I keep it real. I drank all those bottles. Or are they all gonna be drunk? Okay, so let's just, my backdrop is real.
I read every single one of those books. That's why you only see about 20 of them.
And half of them only got pictures.
Exactly. But pictures are worth 1,000 words.
No doubt.
So a book with 100 pictures on it, then you know what that means. All right, so we're good.
100,000
All right,
words.
so somebody flashed up there when I was talking about connections, and I made the joke about connections. So I'm going to ask the question to all of you. We'll start with you, Mel. We'll do the round robin this time. What does connection mean to you when it comes to the opposite sex?
Mm-hmm.
No, don't try that. All right, Des, we'll start with you. We'll get back to you, Mel.
Man.
Go on and chapstick your lips and be ready.
Damn, man.
Okay.
that's messed up. Man, connections really mean just being open and honest. Being open and honest, and really understanding a person, and really getting to know a person. But I think to be open and honest, that takes a lot, because people are so judgmental, and to open up to somebody and share your faults and share your weaknesses and share some of the down periods. I really feel like when you get vulnerable like that, that's when you make your best connections. I don't think you really truly connect always talking about the good times. I mean, anybody can enjoy the good times, and oh man, I had this vacation in Mexico. We had so much fun. But tell me when it was difficult for you. Tell me how you dealt with that. Tell me the things that you struggle with, and that's the stuff I want to know, because when excuse my French, when shit hit the fan, that's when you want to know, can you continue to go down the same road with someone?
All right, I put my chapstick on. I'm ready.
You ready now? I'm still listening,
here we
but
go.
I gotta plug up here, else I'm gonna be dead. So I'm listening.
Yeah, no
Okay.
doubt. And I agree with a lot of the stuff that Desmond said as far as connecting on a entirety basis, right? It's easy to when you're looking good, smelling good, feeling good, got a ton of money in your pocket, it's easy to have that person be all for you. But what do you do when times get rough? I am to the point now, because my last relationship was a doozy, right? So I'm to the point now where when I meet somebody or I'm talking to somebody, it's like, look, let's get the tough conversations out of the way quick. You know what I'm saying? These are my views on religion. These are my views on family. These are my reviews. These are my views on, finances, whatever. I need to get all the stuff out of the way. I don't need a second, third, or fourth date if on the first date I know I got enough information to make an educated decision. You know what I mean? So it's not a stick your toe in the water type deal. Let's get the serious stuff out of the way. Let's talk about some of the big stuff. Because at 43, going on 44 now, I'm not dating just for the sake of dating. Like, I did all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got kids, and my youngest is about to go to college. So what else is there at this point, right? The what's next for me has to be some type of, now if I'm just casually dating, that's one thing, you know what I'm saying? But if it's somebody that I think I could be into, or I think I could find forever with, then yeah, let's get all this stuff out of the way. Why are we messing around with the nonsense when you can just tell me something about you that I know what my deal breakers are. you know. So I need to know straight up, listen, these are my deal breakers, or ask questions to find out if they'll tell me something that'll let me know it's a deal breaker. Because the other thing is, if you tell people your deal breakers up front, they might dance around and try to act like it ain't a big deal or whatever, you know. So you gotta, and it's not even playing games. It's just asking questions in a way that gives you the information that you need to make an educated decision.
Yeah. Ashton, you like, you're a person that likes the in-person contact. You mentioned that earlier. So
Yeah.
what does it mean to you? You
I
know,
would say
which girl are you connected to?
Connection for me is when things and I'm easily annoyed by people. So when things are that would normally annoy me, I find endearing. If I'm now endeared by them, I think things that would annoy me normally, there's a connection there. People that can, and I've got quirks. I'm kind of a nerd at heart, and if people can appreciate that and can explain my dad jokes, can explain my quirkiness to other people, they get me, and that I appreciate. And if I can get them on the same level, that's fantastic. And to Mel's point about I don't have time for dating anymore, I same thing, which is why over the past maybe 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know about human nature or what, I've kind of like fallen for friends. It's people I've trusted, people I know, people I get, and I don't have to waste time with the whole dating thing. It's like I get them, I know them, but now you have the whole friend thing. That's a whole different ball game because people make these excuses. Oh, you're just a friend, or you're just, I don't want to ruin the friendship, so you got to navigate that. But to Mel's point, it's like the dating game is getting harder, especially the younger generation. I tend to date a little younger, and they just want to hang out these days. They don't want to date; they just want to hang out, and it makes it even harder. It's like, come on, man, let's expedite stuff here. Let's speed things up.
Yeah,
I was just with a millennial, bruh. It's a different ball game, man.
So let me throw a curveball at you guys. My lady is my ex-wife.
Man.
My lady, no, man, it's the same because you don't want to sit here and waste time with nobody. My lady is my ex-wife. We were married, we divorced, and now we off and on. But the thing is, I love her. I know we both have faults, and we keep trying to work our way through these faults because I think both of us see the same thing that all of us are saying right now. Like, I want to be out here wasting time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When, we got our faults, but we also got love there also. And that love has never been compromised through all of the ups and downs and everything else. So it makes it worth the time to keep trying it, and then, it's not working, but we're going to come back and try it again. Because I think we both know that there's a quality there that both of us love in each other that is worth the effort, as opposed to going out here and messing around, playing around, like you said, asking with people that you don't know. And just, the world is different now, man. When I was a young athlete, being out there like that, it was just different. Today, man, I'm not trying to go to no club. Yeah, Blaine, you see me hanging out on this Saturday in the house with this thing right here playing music on Facebook. I'm not trying to go out there and do all of that.
Right. And Dez, what you're doing is very noble, though. I mean, just because you break up with somebody or it doesn't work at the time, if both people are growing and evolving, it could have been a timing issue. It could have been a maturity issue. It could have been, I don't know the details of your relationship, but that just because it's an ex, some people say, well, the ex is an ex for a reason. In some cases, yeah, but I know plenty of people that ended up remarrying their ex. I got 4 friends right now that I know that remarried their exes. They took some time apart, they grew, and then they realized, you know what? My best situation is with this person. And I've experienced some other things, and now I value this person a little bit more than I did. In those cases where it works, go for it, bro. I think that's actually dope that you were man enough to say, you know what? This could potentially be my happiness, my thing right there. But in some situations, it's like, yeah, nah, I ain't making up. You know what you did when you crossed me.
gotta keep going. All right.
Here he goes. Don't get him started with "you know what you did." That was for later in the show. Sean Mason, welcome to the cave, Sean
Hey
Mason.
man, hey man, I'm laughing at Mel because there's not been an episode where that dude hadn't said, "You know what you did when you
You
crossed."
know what you did when you crossed.
I know.
And if you
Well,
out
could
there
jump-
listening, you know what you
you know
did.
what you did when you crossed me.
All y'all know what y'all did.
Y'all did. Yeah, everybody, you know what you did. There's a reason
Hey.
why.
Listen, let's get nosy. Mel, what did she do? That's
Man,
what we want to know.
we ain't got that type of time, bruh.
Hey, who was it that said
That's-
the stuff that they do that typically annoys you doesn't annoy you, and that's how you know you're in love?
That's
No.
Ashman.
No.
Ashman said-
I said you find endearing. That's how you know
Right
you have a
back.
connection.
Oh, is that what that is?
Which
Yeah.
could be love, I guess. It could be love down the road, but yeah.
What I think that is just not enough time. Like stuff like that. Stuff like that is okay when it normally gets on your nerves and you really feeling the person, and then it doesn't bother you. Oh, but give it some time, and then you be
Give
like,
it some time.
I hate that shiggity, and I like her enough that I didn't hate it so much for a little while, but now I wanna put some battery acid in her wine or something,
Oh wow.
Wow,
There's
wow.
there is no better trigger than sitting down with your ex and they say something that used to annoy the hell out of you, and it's like a bell goes off in your head. There's an alarm that goes off, and you hear like those tornado alarms
Yeah.
that you hear, those sirens. You get
Yeah.
those sirens in your head, and you're like, oh yeah, this is why I'm not here. This is it. And
That's
it's nothing like trying to find the door after that, because you're like, okay, yeah, this has been nice.
Hey,
I'll do this
did you
again.
see our
Hold on,
producers
hold
that
on,
said
hold on,
hold on.
ETV is not
This is
responsible for
idiot.
anything Sean says.
Yeah, I knew the battery acid wouldn't go over very well, but that's the kind
Yeah, I
of
don't want to put that.
I've
Man,
had
what
that.
what happened to
I mean, I have
cyanide,
some-
man? What happened to the cyanide that you see on all these murder mystery shows? How did you get the battery acid?
I'm real blue collar, Des. I'm real blue collar.
He's serious with his. He's
Battery
serious
has
with
a way
I mean,
cheaper.
Yeah, man, and way more accessible,
I'd buy them some like Behringer's White Zinfandel, some of the worst wine in the world, and give it to them.
Oh,
That'd be
yeah, I'm
battery
not
acid
gonna
to
waste no
me.
money on the murder now. That's
Hilarious.
Hey,
Hey, there's
you-
something
hey,
called
hold on.
plausible deniability. Don't tell me, bro. If you're gonna do battery acid, I don't need to know.
That's pretty.
I don't need to be an
That's extra
accessory or an
years.
accomplice.
I can't lean on
Yeah.
the line, bro. You're not
Hold on,
gonna cover for me.
No.
Hold on, man. You know you over here looking like the black version of the Blacklist with that hat on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, James Spader.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what we doing. We signifying. Okay, all right.
See,
And you
where's his
talking
head?
about killing somebody
It's a
looking like the
cool
black
hat.
version of the
Over
Blacklist.
here.
Well, I do like Raymond Reddington. I can't lie. That's my man. So
Yeah.
one of my all-time favorite TV characters. I was like, man, y'all can't talk about relationships on the episode when I'm having technical difficulties. That's what I love
I
to
know.
talk about.
Well, when you was out there
I
concocting
know.
something with battery acid, so we
By design.
And trying a new whiskey, which I'm not sure I'm feeling yet, but it's Screwball.
What is that?
Screwball.
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 Whiskey.
That don't sound like nothing you should be putting in your body.
Oh, like funny this time. Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
it's lively. It's lively tonight. It is lively tonight.
I appreciate it because we need some liveliness.
Man, yes.
We do.
You know me, I'm all ultra serious, so I was ready to, talk about all the dirty, grimy stuff that we don't really want to talk about tonight.
And we do want to talk about it. We just hadn't got there yet, brother.
But you know me, I like to start with that so we can end on a high note, But
Somebody
always
said your
end on a
screwball
high
sounds
note.
like battery. Somebody said your screwball sounds like battery acid. Jamie Gill just said that sounds.
Yeah, man.
That might
In
be-
Jamaica,
the verdict is
in
out.
Jamaica, them called battery acid monkey lotion. It's something that the ladies carry. They take the battery acid. You try to accost them. You try to rape them. Them throw the battery acid in your face, burn your face. They call it monkey lotion.
All right,
You
man.
see-
Don't
you see a
start.
boy
I'm
with
already
his
getting
face
started.
scarred. They say why his face look like that. He got the monkey lotion thrown on him.
don't start talking about women throwing battery acid. I've already been kicked out of a group for last week's show or the 2 weeks ago show for no reason at all. Bashing, y'all got me kicked out. The most innocent person on the show.
Mel off.
Don't understand
The most who on the what?
that happened.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of deep. I actually had a lot of I had a lot of women watch the watch party just because I wanted to see, you know, if that young lady was being hypersensitive with you. And nobody that I talked to said they felt like you had bashed or we had bashed or any of that. So, and then she said something that I thought I'm just gonna, you know, I'm already running at 1,000. I may as well jump on over.
You got catching up to do. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. She said something that I legit thought was just dumb, which was you shouldn't talk about. What she said, Glenn? You shouldn't talk about a queen like that.
Yeah.
She's not there to defend herself. And I said, you know what? Hen parties are a thing. Like women get together to bash brothers. I mean, they buy food and drink and sit out time to do it. So now you telling me,
tickets.
Yeah, we can't talk about women unless she's there to defend herself. Yeah, okay. When y'all do that for us, I'm with it. But
that's the point of having a cave.
Right, exactly. And I told her, I'm like, well, the name of the show is The Man Cave.
Right.
Man.
Be glad that you have some access that you wouldn't normally have. Take some notes, and you know, put some battery acid in your man's arm.
And also, we have a woman producer on the show. One of the producers is a woman,
and she didn't
know. She over there rolling her eyes right
now.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on.
We're power
hold
people
on.
here.
Ashman, did you know what you was getting into? Because I certainly didn't.
Oh, I had an idea.
Yeah, I sent you.
What's going to happen here?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I sent you
anybody
guys-
was bashing though. That's the whole point of it. Like Glenn's comment was not bash or whoever's comment on the show. It wasn't a bashing comment. You know what I mean? It was an opinion.
It's hypersensitive.
Yeah.
You can't take anybody saying anything that you think is a depiction of you. It's like when you get mature enough to check yourself. I used to get real funky when women talked about men not taking care of their children and, you know, planting babies all over the place and yada, yada, yada. And I mean, they're talking about a black man in that sense, right? And so I would always be a little hypersensitive to it until I had to mature and say, okay, well, I'm a black man, but I'm not that black man. And I can't deny her that reality. If that's what she's encountered and that's what she's experienced, I'm sorry for it. I have to learn how to detach myself from it because she's not talking about me when she says that, even though she may think she is and I may feel like she is. At the end of the day, I don't have no children. I ain't popping no babies out all over the place. So I know she can't be talking about me. And for me to challenge her, I'm denying her reality.
She was talking about Ashman.
She's right. Yep, even though he wasn't on the show, she was
The brown guy. That's great.
The brown guy. Pick on the brown guy.
If the shoe fits, wear it quietly. That's all it boils down to. Like if it doesn't pertain to you, it doesn't pertain to you. That's it.
That's it. So you know what I'm saying? So we got to stop being so hypersensitive. You know, and I check myself on it.
Yeah.
And check this out. I got a good friend, and I apologize to any of the brothers because I don't know. I know Des has a girlfriend. Ash, I don't know your relationship situation. I heard you say you were taking a break because of all the foolery, like me. But I had an exchange with a good girlfriend of mine earlier this week, and she just hit me random, and she said, "I don't want to debate this, but why do the brothers run to the white women? What is that about? Are the sisters not good enough?" And you know, she went on this diatribe, and I love her dearly. She's my girl. You know, when you're friends with somebody, you can have difference of opinion. You accept them, you know. And so this was my response to her. I said, we can't say that it doesn't happen, but it's not a universal affirmative. If you're talking about athletes and celebrities, that's a very small part of the population. That's just very public. So it makes them seem more disproportionate than they are. I said, but you have a hypersensitivity to it. Just like me, one of my hypersensitivities is women that value a man based on his wallet. and her access to it. That's one of my issues. So when that comes up, that's likely to stir a little something in me more than somebody saying, you know, oh, he got 12 babies by 15 women, you know, whatever. We all have our buttons, you know what I'm saying? And so if you're honest with yourself, you know what your buttons are. And so that's what I told her. I said, you know, you have the right to be hypersensitive about it, but you're just hypersensitive to it. And that's okay. That's okay. Just try to accept the fact that you're a bit hypersensitive to it, just like I am to certain things. Just like Mel is to anybody that do him wrong and they know it.
Yeah.
You know what
He's
you
not
did
gonna do
when
it.
you
Yeah,
crossed
really.
me.
You know what you did.
Yo,
So,
yo,
no,
Sean.
I think it's more hypersensitivity to somebody that she wanted to date that probably dated somebody out of their race. Because usually, you know, you resemble the remark you comment on.
Yeah, well, you know, this has been my friend
That
for
could be
a long time, so I know that she has that. That's a hot issue for her for whatever reason. I mean, you know, just a hypersensitivity thing, you know.
Yeah, and to take it a step further, Music Soul Child has a song. Sean, you probably know it. It's called "Previous Cats."
I did it about 3 months ago.
Bro, I'm not to blame for the
Right,
pain
right.
that was caused by previous cats.
Right, absolutely.
Like, if I ain't do it, I'm not gonna do the crime. I'm not gonna do the time for the crime that I didn't commit.
Well, the thing is,
You know
man,
what I mean?
a woman will tell you if she talks a whole lot about what she's trying to get away from in her last relationship. To me, that says she hasn't resolved it. Like, if that's why they say, you know, the back window of the car is bigger than the front window, or the front window is bigger than the back window, because it's more important where you're going than where you've been. So if you can't shake off the baggage from your failed relationship and you're still running from that, because I think a lot of people, men and women, we miss good people because we see something that gives us a reminder of a failed relationship. And then we decide, oh, this is that same shit again. I'm not doing that. And oftentimes it's nothing. It's just a glimpse of commonality they have, but we're so preoccupied with it that we go, oh no, I'm not doing that again. I had a relationship with a lady that I had a 5-year relationship with a lady that 3.5 years of it, she had major health issues. And they were chronic. So they weren't going, it wasn't like the flu or even the virus. It wasn't no vaccine and nothing she was going to take for it. Her normalcy was going to be affected. And when that relationship was over, I remember one of the next people that I thought about dating, she had some health issues. And I was okay with that. But I talked to her one night. She was just getting out of the hospital. It was her birthday. And the doctor told her, stay home. Don't go out. Bed rest for a week. And she told me, it's my birthday. So damn what the doctor said, I'm getting ready to hit the club. And I never talked to her again.
Yeah, bro.
That was one of that hypersensitive. That was something that was left with me. Like, okay, I'll deal with it, right? But if you aren't going to be compliant and you aren't going to do, I've seen how hard it is when somebody's doing everything they're supposed to do. So you gonna go against the doctor's orders? You're not dating Sean doing that. Mm-mm.
And he's not buying you a drink at the bar either when he sees you out. Remember that.
No, sir.
His motto. That's right.
After we're talking. You know.
Yeah, Dez and Ashman, you have to learn that there's some idiosyncrasies about the members of the cave. There's certain things that they just don't do, and they're recurring themes that come up through every episode.
I'm figuring it out. Hypersensitive.
Yeah.
And you know what you did to
Sean will not. Yeah, Sean will not buy a drink for a woman at a bar that he just met. That is just not part of his MO.
If she asks him,
even if she asks him.
Hey, Mel, if she asks me to, it's gonna have battery acid in it. No, no. What I said was, I'm not that guy who sends a drink to a woman to meet her. I'm not gifting you for the opportunity to talk to you. I'm not doing that. If we start talking,
yes,
we're enjoying each other's company, and I want that conversation to continue as the man taking the lead. If buying you a drink so that you'll stay here and talk to me, I'm more than willing to do that. But I'm not going, hey, I'm Sean. What do you drink? I'm not doing it.
I sing. I'm a singer. That's what you should do. Like that's.
I agree, Sean.
Ashman, you agree with him? Ashman, you agree?
Yeah.
Like, so you're women.
She don't want to talk to you, and you send her a drink. She may take it, but like not give the time of day. But if you're in conversation with her and she's locked in, that's guaranteed she's staying longer.
Ash, she may have a husband. Who turns down a free drink?
Her is a crapshoot.
Yeah, who turns down a free drink? She may have a husband and 4 kids at home and be happily married for 20 years. And you see her drink and she go, "Oh, this is good. My husband buys me the same thing."
I have no problem buying a girl a drink or 10 drinks, as long as she'll be engaged with me for the rest of the night, hanging out.
It's not an audition.
But
That's my whole thing. It's not an audition.
But wait a minute, Ash. When you look at her and she looks like, I've been watching Entourage. I've been binge watching Entourage. So let's say she looks like Sloane. We're talking about white women. I kind of like Sloane. Let's talk about her so she can be one. She looks like Sloane from Entourage. You see her at the bar, and you're not going to be thinking about that. You're going to look at the left hand, make sure there's no ring. You do the ring check, which is customary. There's no ring, and you're going to offer her a drink. You're telling me you're not?
Dude, I know my realities. I'm a 5'5" bald man in my 40s. Okay.
Oh my God! Somebody is shorter than me in this room.
I know my realities these days, man.
Oh God, this was
the bar. She looks over. It's like, oh, that guy's 5'5", no hair, and in his 40s. No, thank you. All right, because I already told you, I sway younger.
But Ash, if your wallet is 6'1", you're good.
Yeah, right.
if your wallet's tall, you're good. You can talk about breakwater. You can tell about, look, I have an island in Lake Michigan I want you to visit. That's a hell of an opening line.
Dude,
For the wrong reasons.
The only thing that competes with
connections to this,
dude.
We missed the segment.
If Chicago Bear comes up next to you, then you might lose on that. So if Dez walks up and then you kind of wrap that up. That's like me. I went to a bar in Miami one time, and I look in there, and it was packed. It was on South Beach. But I look in there, and Tyson Beckford's in there. So your odds are just really, really not good on that one. So you don't even go in because you're like, okay, this just won't work. We know how this story is going to
I'm standing right next to Tyson Beckford.
He can't leave
standing right next to him.
You're what? You're standing right next to him.
I'm standing right next to Tyson. I don't
care.
Because
that's when Mel say, "How you doing? I'm Ronnie DeVoe."
Hey.
You may have heard of my group New Editions.
You may have heard of me.
Andy girl. You may have heard of me. Yeah.
Damn. Why he do you like that, Mel?
Because
I'm the Ronnie. I'm the Ronnie and Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. Yeah, I'm
true.
Ronnie.
It's true.
Ronnie, Bobby.
I mean,
I love the girl.
What'd you say, Dan?
Mel, I'm with you because if you stand next to Tyson, the women that he turned down, then you right there as a catcher.
Bam.
Dan, that's what I'm saying. Here. He can't leave with them all. So, collect the residue and have a good night,
How tall is Tyson? How tall is Tyson?
Taller than me and Ash. I know that.
Yeah, I think I might be taller than dude, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's about he might be 6'2".
There's some women watching that'll Google it real quick and let us know.
I can go. Yeah, somebody Google it. Some women probably know already. Anyway, there's probably someone out there now. Somebody just said though that sexy can be bald. Bald is sexy at any height. Or no, intelligence is sexy at any height.
There you go,
so there you go.
Yeah, I got 3 degrees. I got 3 degrees, so I got some intelligence.
Yeah. And you're pretty damn smart. He's pretty smart.
He's not talking about an old school R&B album he got at home either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got 3 degrees.
The 3 degrees.
Right back there. Look, right back there. All 3 of them.
Is that what we doing? Are we showing the walls?
Right. I can start going and get certificates.
I mean, I got MBAs and degrees and all types of stuff hanging up there. But to get back on track, right? I think there's something to be said about confidence too. Because I done seen some cats with some gorgeous women. And I'm just like, you had to be super confident, bro. Like that's confidence. Confidence. It. I mean, it does something,
hey,
right?
Man, I'm so glad you said that because I want to say something about that, but I also want to say something about what Robin Tillman just said. She said Prince and Kevin Hart are both 5'2".
I saw that.
They're both rich, so we cannot use them.
They're both famous.
That's another level of sexiness that
ugly is handsome when it's rich, short is tall when it's rich. But Mel, what did you just say? Confidence, right? That has always blowing my mind, man, because I hear so many women say, "Oh, I'm attracted to confidence," and me and one of my good friends debate this quite a bit. And my thing is, especially with us, right? Confidence doesn't mean sincerity. So when you jump to give the man that's confident all that energy, he could be confident because this is what he does, and he's good at it. And so to strike up a conversation with a woman at the bar or in the line at Target or whatever, it's not a challenge for him. So you look at it as confidence, and to him, it could be sport. So I think that sometimes—
I didn't say it was right. I just said it.
No. I'm just saying that it always fascinates me because I hear so many women say, "Oh, I love confidence." But right there, I saw that. But that doesn't mean sincerity. And then you find out 6 months later that he got a whole nother life across town, or whatever. I'm just saying, confidence. I just think it gets more attention than it should. It doesn't dictate a man's heart, his loyalty, his. You might want to look at somebody who ain't so confident. If a man is nervous talking to you, that means he's trying to do right by you. He's looking at you.
He really likes you.
Yeah, he really likes you,
Yeah.
And so I told my friend, asked that same friend, I said, the man that calculates every move that he makes with you because he doesn't want to make a mistake is a very different animal than the cat who comes at you guns a-blazing and he's like, okay, didn't work, on to the next one. Their hearts are in very different places. So that's just my take on it.
I don't know. Being nervous never won.
One of my friends teased me about saying cats. Yeah, I'm an old school cat, so yeah, I said.
So jab turkey.
Right.
So I'm gonna jump in here. So my lady, what she told me when I met her, and beautiful lady, and she'd been approached by the who's who of Chicago, and never kind of went that direction.
She got you.
But here's what she said. She said that I made her feel comfortable. That's what she said. She said I made her feel comfortable. Everybody else buy a drink, do this, come out of this way, that way, and the other way. And she said the reason why she gave me the opportunity is just because I made her feel comfortable.
How one of my relationships started, man. You're not gonna believe this. We were good friends. We had that little energy, and we were having a conversation, and she mentioned something that she needed from the store, which happened to be toilet paper. And when I was at the store,
I need some too right now. COVID-19 got us on.
Right. I grabbed some toilet paper, and I wasn't trying to make a move with it. I just remembered that she said she needed that, and I grabbed it. And when we went to church together at the time, and so when church was over, I said, "Come to the car for me. I got something for you." And I opened the trunk, and I gave her a big bundle of toilet paper, and that was a romantic thing for her because she was like, "He listens to me. He paid attention to what I said I needed. I didn't ask him for it, and he just gave it to me. It doesn't matter that it cost $8. It was just the thoughtfulness of it,
Now, that means a lot, though. Women like the little things go a long way, and that's been the one thing that's been consistent about my dating life is that I pay attention to the deal. But yeah, I try not to date millennials if I can help it.
Because
I'll leave those extras.
I never said millennials.
Yeah, that's true. Some will misunderstand.
What'd you say?
The other part,
I said millennials.
the other part is,
that was Mel.
He said
You
millennials.
spoke to her, Sean. You spoke to her love language, which was probably acts of service, right? Different people have different things that do it for them. Some women, you could buy them all the stuff in the world, but if they're a quality time person, you giving them your time means so much more than you giving them trinkets or jewelry or whatever. Some people like acts of service. It could be, oh, babe, you're going out of town. You don't have to catch an Uber. I'll take you to the airport.
Right.
And the fact that you would stop your day to take them to the airport, you know what I mean? That's what fills their love tank. So it's important in relationships that people know.
Love tank. You better preach, man.
Love tank.
Love
It's important that you know what fills their tank, and it's important that you know what fills your tank too. You know what I mean? Because like some people, it's physical touch, and that could be your thing, and you're giving physical touches like, I'm showing you I love you, I show you that I love you or whatever, but their thing could be acts of service, and you're not doing that. You know what I mean? So if that compromise is there and you're willing to fill their love tank, it could go a long way.
It's very interesting, man, because I was.
Yeah, Sean, that means buying them a drink to be their love language, Sean, at the bar. Just saying.
If it's
Well,
the
you
first
listen out.
meeting, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It better be their love language 3 months into the relationship. I was it's funny you would say that too, Mel, because I was on a show with a buddy of mine a couple of weeks ago, a totally different show, and we were talking about basically how a person either can accept the way you love them or expects you to love them the way they need to be loved. And my man was adamant about, hey, you know who I am and how I am, and you knew what this was when you signed up for it. So don't expect me to do A, B, or C. And I was saying, I get that, but do you know how much it would mean if you just periodically made that sacrifice to give her what you know that she wants, what she knows she wants, and she knows isn't easy for you to give. If you just every now and then, went out of your comfort zone and did something that she knows she's not even really conditioned to expect from you, that's a much more amicable position to take.
And sometimes, bro, it's easy to give. Sometimes we just being stubborn. Truth be told, it's like, I ain't into that. Oh, I don't do that. And it's a small compromise.
Hey, man, I personally think, and this is just me, I work with a dude who always qualifies everything by this. It's just me. I personally think, man, that when you say in a relationship, well, this is just how I am, it's the most cowardly thing you can do.
We all can grow. We can all grow. We can all be better.
We can all make concessions. We can all make sacrifices. So when you're telling me as a grown person, you're so rigid that your response is, well, that's just me. That's just how I am. And if it hasn't bared you any good fruit, then you're just being stubborn. You're just being stubborn.
But just like Mel said, most of the time, these things are not things where it's taking you, where you're compromising your morals and your character and things like that. It's just asking you to open up a little bit more.
Yeah. And here's the thing, I bet a whole lot of people that are so resistant, they expect their mate to open up.
There you go.
That part.
Hey, man, I don't know if I've heard from Roger about whether or not we're okay. I just did. We're good. We're on track. We're not going to touch on the tragic stuff going on, but we do want to say from NDTV, G Rose Productions, 220 Communications, our heart goes out to everybody that's affected. We want everybody to be okay. We want us to be okay. Some of you guys I know Mel has daughters. If you have sons, we want everybody to be okay. And so that's really the thing,
Can I say, I think it'd be a disservice if we get off this Facebook Live without addressing that. If we don't address that, then it just wouldn't be right.
It's not happening.
Exactly.
I went to the store today, and I guess on the way back was when everything was jumping off, and I mean there was convoys of police cars streaming by me, man. And I got a nephew, man, who's 22 years old, just graduated college. I catch myself in the wrong position. I'm George Floyd. If I let my temper get the best of me or whatever, and it doesn't even have to be that. As we can see, you can do everything right. You can be as willing as you need to be, and it still go that way. And so I think one thing we have to be real about, man, is that racism is a whole lot deeper than people are willing to admit. And you can't tell me, and if somebody wants to debate me on it, come on with it. But you can't tell me that some little racist kid didn't grow up wanting to be a cop just so he could do things to young black men and not be held accountable for it. That's how deep racism goes. This man who killed that young man, he had somewhere between 16 and 18 accounts against him already. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I bet you every one of them had to do with somebody of color. I bet. So it runs deep.
And here's what I'm gonna say. when you're talking about, and I'm talking about white people who look at this and say, you know what, it's not my problem. I question that, and I question, okay, how do you look at Black people, Mexican people, any people of color? And my personal thought is, you have to look at people of color as less than if you really feel like this is not a problem. That's the only way that you can tolerate not saying something, not stepping up, not getting into the fight. Because look, I listened to a bunch of things this week about this, and the one thing that I agree with, I think Jalen Rose said it, that, you know, for us people who have a social status speaking out, Black people having a social status to speak out, that's not going to be enough, because we've been doing it for so long now, and it's getting to the point like, oh, we expect that. We expect LeBron James to step out and say something. We'll expect all of the Black celebrities to step out and say something. It's not going to be until that corporate CEO, that white celebrity join forces with the Black celebrity, with the Black CEO, with the Black forces, to walk down this path with us for the people on the other side of the fence to take notice. Because we already, when we speak out, we're making us take notice. But it's not going to be to the people that they respect to start speaking out, for them to take notice that this stuff is unacceptable. And I like what Jalen Rose did. He called out Tom Brady. He called out J.J. Watt, because these guys, they can go out and raise $20 million for a relief fund, for whatever. Let us hear your voice on this one. Now you come stand beside the Jalen Roses and the LeBron James and walk down this road, so your people can also hear from you, where you got all the influence. Now they can hear from you, and now they'll listen to you more so than they're going to listen to the other side.
Well, Brady has discreetly let it be known that he's a fan of Trump, so I wouldn't expect any help from him. But I will say this. I totally agree with you, but I also think that part of white America's issue is not how they see us as much as the fact that it doesn't touch them.
Right.
None of what we deal with has an impact on them. That's why they don't care who the president is, because they're still going to be white and they're still going to experience white privilege. So they don't really care who's at the helm. It's not really going to affect them. And so I had a buddy of mine, white guy, that we talked really openly, and we got into a heated discussion one time, and I tried to explain to him. I said, when you go home, you go out to your backyard and you sit down and have your beer and you're away from it all. I said, my Black skin hovers over me while I sleep at night. It's not something that I get to escape. You can go home and get away from it.
Right.
Black people can't do that. The other thing that I think is poignant that you're saying is, you know, we've been screaming and fighting and kicking and protesting and sitting in and sitting out and standing up and kneeling since before I was even born, right? So as much as you hate to form your words to say it, we need white people to step in. We need them to ally with us, because our voice has never gotten it done. You know, we go out and we make a statement and we post all over social media, and we let everybody know that we're hurt and we're damaged, which is why I haven't done any of that, because at the end of the day, I need something tangible. Me telling the world how hurt I am isn't going to bring anything tangible to what's happening right now. I want to see, Dick Gregory said, we need legislation. Police officers need to be insured, and your insurance is governed by how you act. And if you lose your license to be a police officer, can't be a police officer no more. You're a cab driver. You have X amount of accidents. You can't drive a cab no more.
As an insurance professional, I have to have a license.
Absolutely. So what he basically was saying was, do you hate us more than you love feeding your family? I don't mind that you hate us. That's okay. That's not going to go anywhere. But you shouldn't be able to mistreat me because you hate me and not be held accountable for it. I don't need you to love me or like me. I don't need you in that way. But I need legislation that will allow you to not hurt me or hurt my family and not have to be accountable for it.
Yeah, for sure. Ashman, it looks like you were about to say something.
No, I've just been thinking a lot. I was going to ask you guys, if to both what Des and kind of Sean was saying, if somebody is not speaking up, do you inherently think they are part of the problem? We also watched the
Not necessarily.
Michael Jordan never got involved in anything, and he still hasn't. So
that we know of. I've heard that he
know
did
of, right?
those things
But
under the table that people know.
people stay out of things. I like Glenn and Jazz follow me on social media. My shtick is food, travel, sports. That's it. I stay out of politics. I stay out of everything because I don't want to cause issues with any sides, right? Any 3, 4, 5 sides. But to Sean's point, I can't say anything until I have something tangible to portray or to get something out of it, right? And just having words, it's just words. Like I need something more I need more ammunition.
Yeah.
And so
I can't.
Come on, Mel.
I can't say that I agree with that. Only because.
Help me out.
No. Only because, bro. Even if you don't have the solution, the problem still needs to be expressed so that we could collectively have the solution. So I've been the same way. If you follow my Facebook post, I'm motivation.
Yeah.
You know, I do professional development seminars for companies. I've been in the insurance industry for 20 years. So all of my stuff has been business, and I'm an actor. So you'll see my Chicago PD posts when I was on the Chi. You'll see all of that stuff, right? And I hardly ever would speak out about stuff like this. But I did a poem the other day on Wednesday, and we're between Wednesday and Friday got 10,000 views, and the poem was called "I Can't Breathe." Do I have the solution for the problem? No. But number one, it sparks conversation. And some of your friends, your non-minority friends, if they don't know it impacts you, sometimes it takes them knowing somebody that feels a certain way about something, who voices out and says, "I'm hurting, I'm bothered. I leave the house and I don't know if my interactions with the police are going to lead to something." And it takes them hearing that from somebody that they can touch, that they've had a glass of wine with, that they've been to your island, or, they sat in the locker room with you, Desmond, or whatever. And they're like, damn, this is my boy. I saw it as a problem out there, but now it's affecting people that I've broken bread with, that I'm close to. And then another point, as far as some of my white friends have said, they've called to check on me and they've said, I just didn't know what to say to you. And I didn't know what to say in the world where it doesn't look like I'm just jumping on a bandwagon, but I'm concerned.
Yes. And that's my
concern.
I don't want to be look like I'm jumping on a bandwagon, right? I feel it. I want to express it, but everybody's doing it. And you always want to say, are they playing a role in life? Or do they truly need this?
Here's the thing though. If it's your authenticity, if you are authentic in your sharing, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Exactly. It doesn't matter. If you're authentic in your sharing, it doesn't matter how anybody else feels, because you, Ashman, are expressing this. You, Desmond, you, Glenn, you, Sean, are expressing it, and it's authentic to you. So I don't give a damn if somebody's like, I didn't write that poem for 10,000 people to see it in 2 days. I didn't know it was going to spread like that. I wrote it because I was in pain. I wrote it because it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I literally couldn't sleep. I wrote it because I got a daughter that's about to go to school in Texas. You know what I mean? Where racism is prevalent in the South. So I'm thinking to myself, all of this stuff is going on. I need to express it. And so you can't. It's jacked up that it's to the point where it has you afraid, not even afraid, but concerned about expressing yourself because of what somebody else thinks.
But you also have to keep this in mind too, Mel. Like, nobody knows better than black men. And then we're going to close out. The production team wanted us to know that there is a cave town hall being prepared, that we're going to, peel the layers back and really get into this thing. Nobody knows better than black men that we are not a monolith. So, we can break bread, we can go watch the game, we can have a beer, but all 5 of us have a very different perspective on even the most sensitive issues. And so, for me, when I listen to you, that's 100% valid. Everything that you say is 100% valid. However, somebody next to you, like, for example, could be me, who's just exhausted. I'm exhausted. I didn't watch the Aubrey murder. I've never watched this murder because I'm exhausted. Just emotionally, I'm just spent. I'm tired. I have nothing else to give, and I'm in that place now where if anything that I give outside of maybe a random post here or there that particularly gets my attention, if I can't make it something tangible that I think is gonna, really create some kind of change, I'm more inclined to not say anything. And it's not because I don't care; it's because I'm exhausted. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's so hurtful. Yeah. It's so hurtful. I was out today, and I realized I needed to go home because I was just angry, and I was trying to manage the anger. And white people that had done nothing to me, walking by me, and I'm angry. And when I realized that I was like driving and was just in this angry mode, I was like, okay, I can't take Lakeshore Drive because I see it's popping off now. Let me take the scenic route and kind of decompress and that kind of thing. So it's an unfortunate thing, man, that we live with these things that most of us aren't even able to express, depending on what our situations are, at home or whatever. That's a whole nother conversation that we are as Black men often stifle when it comes to being emotional and expressing ourselves. It's a whole different one. But at any rate, man, we're about 13 minutes over time. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to enjoy the whole time with you guys. I was listening on a tablet while I was trying to work my sound out, so I was certainly enjoying all you guys. We're not going to do any song or poem tonight because we ran over. But I want to thank Ash. I want to thank you, man. I wish I would have gotten more time with you. Des, fan of yours, man. Enjoy watching you play the game. I appreciate what you brought to the game and brought to Chicago. Glenn, you my man. Mel, we on the bond. So, guys, it's been a great time. Hopefully we'll do a watch party like I usually do on Wednesdays. I typically try to do a watch party. So anybody that couldn't watch live, they can chime in on Facebook. And we actually have some very, very deep discussions during the watch party, don't we, Glenn? It gets pretty deep during the watch party. So and we
want you guys to come back too. We'll probably have you guys back on the show because you're great guests. We enjoyed having you. So
absolutely.
If you guys are willing to jump back into the cave, if you're willing to venture back in, we want you.
Yeah. Don't bring that Lakers stuff with you though. We don't need none of that.
Right.
We'll bring Lakers gear. We will bring Lakers gear. That's required.
Everybody's chemistry doesn't necessarily come in and work very well, but you two guys, your chemistry worked very well, and we appreciated you. What did you say you were drinking? What did everybody say they were drinking?
I got a Truly, pineapple Truly.
What is water Truly, Ash?
It's hard seltzer. It's water with a kick.
What you hardcore, huh? Water with a kick.
Yep.
You grown for real, huh?
I had the Macallan 12 from 3 to 8, and then I had to rehydrate with the water.
I'm a Macallan guy, Dez. You all right? I like
DJing. DJing is hard work. He's been DJing too, so that's why.
Camped out at home for COVID?
No.
Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.